Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. Welcome to the Covenant. Hello everyone, this is Ralph Perez here, Strange Planet NYC. And last night I saw Alien Covenant. And let me tell you, it was quite an interesting story, I have to admit. Look, I'm gonna be straightforward and honest with you guys here. I was very excited, very amped about seeing this movie, but I walked into it with some skepticism, with some doubt, because I was thinking to myself, well, I don't want to get myself too amped up because then I'll come out disappointed. You know, you put a high standard on a film, and then people, every time the credits roll up, I hear everybody in the theater, oh, I want my money back, and all that nonsense, right? Which they shouldn't do. Truth of the matter is, you don't get your money back. Aside from that, this movie was a good addition to the Ridley Scott dream. I have to admit it. You know what's funny about it? It answers a lot of questions from Prometheus, right? But it raised more questions regarding what is to come. Okay? Like, there were certain... basically, the story is like this. And I think I've mentioned this before. It's about a group of explorers, okay, that are looking to colonize a planet. It's their first... This is the first human expedition, basically, to go and colonize another world, because I guess maybe Earth sucks right now and nobody wants to live there anymore. So, it's the end of the, it's 2090 something. So it's a mess. So they go out there and you see like a group of I think 7-10 people that are in the storyline, right? And what's funny about it is that they have more people than that. Actually, they have about, I think, what did they say, 1,000 or 2,000, something like that. And, oh my God, but they were all encased, they were all in sleep, and many more in an embryo state, like this. They were like little baby, fishy embryos inside these freezers, and it was like, okay, and I'm not giving anything away. I'm not really giving away the plot. So people are like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not giving away anything. It's colonization. That's how you do it. This is something that would go with any film about the subject. I thought it was very well made. Ridley Scott has that eye. You know what I mean? Like the cinematic experience is amazing. How beautiful everything looked. The music was great. The music had, you heard the Prometheus theme. You heard a little bit of the theme from the original Alien film from 1979. I kind of like that blend. And it kind of works because in this film, it felt like the first couple of acts were more about Prometheus. It had more of a Prometheus feel. It felt like that. But then the last act, it had more of that alien thing going on. Because, we are finally introduced to our favorite sci-fi / horror creature, the Xenomorph. That's right, the Xenomorph. Now, in my opinion, I think that this Xenomorph was still kind of like a prototype to a certain extent. Because from what I saw, from what I got, he seems to be the first one. Don't know, not sure. But I can tell you that it was good. It was scary. It had the feel of the original Alien. It had a lot of dialogue. A lot of people would be bored of that. But I kind of like a lot of dialogue personally because it gives you a sense of, okay, this is what's going on and this is the sense of what's happening. It's very important. Too much talking is not a good thing either. But I'm just saying it has to be balanced. And I thought this was well balanced in my view. I thought that the movie explained the prologues that I mentioned in my previous Strange Planet, and it also gave a sense of the same theme as Prometheus did. Let me just put it to you like this: creation, creator. here they are. It kind of continues that theme from the original, from Prometheus from 2012, which was about our origins and how the creator must sometimes have to undo things, destroy, in order to create again. David, the android, says it quite well in this movie. First off, Michael Fassbender did an amazing job as playing the android David again. He reprised that role as he played that role in Prometheus. He played the android David. He also played the android Walter. Apparently there's an assembly line here. And, the exchange between the two is very interesting. You want to hang on to every word, because when they meet, it's kind of like, yeah, we're kind of the same yet different, Check it out. You'll see what I mean. Catherine Watterson, who played Daniels in the movie, she was pretty much the main protagonist of the film, and she did an incredible job of acting. I mean, my goodness, she really rocked it out. She knocked it out of the park. I thought she gave the same sense of fear, dread, and caution. The ship Covenant, that's the name of the ship they're in, received a distress call from who else but our very own Elizabeth Shaw, supposedly. They go, and instead of going to the planet they were originally going to go colonize, they found that this one was a little closer, so they said, you know what, maybe we'll do better here. So they go there. They didn't do better there. No, they didn't do better there. As a matter of fact, it opened up a big can of worms. Now that I said that, it sounds kind of accurate. Danny McBride, you've known him. He was in Land of the Lost, the movie version that came out a few years ago. He was in quite a few films. The End, comedies. He's known for comedy more than anything else, more about comedy films. But in this film, he actually did a more serious role in this film. He played Tennessee. And he basically flew the ship, the Covenant. He was the one who really captained it. And it was amazing how he did such a good job in that. I see a good future on his end if he keeps on taking on these more serious roles as opposed to being, just boxed in as a comedic actor. Nah, this guy got a lot more than that. And this movie proved it. There were other great actors in this film, like Tess Harbert, Kaylee Hernandez, Amy Seimetz, Guy Pearce, Jesse Samlet, these actors were young. They're aspiring. Many of them were young. Not all of them were young, obviously, but it gave you a sense of, okay, this is where we're at with Alien Covenant. There were two kinds of aliens, and the previews showed this, to be honest with you. If you saw the previews, if you saw the, all the stuff they've put out there, you know that there were two kinds. There was something called the Neomorph, which is kind of a different other creature. It kind of looks like a xenomorph, but it doesn't. It looks weird. It doesn't really look like the creature we saw at the end of Prometheus busting out of the Engineer. So it's something else. Something very scary. Very creepy, actually. It creeped the hell out of me. This movie also goes to show you a few things. One, you should listen to your co-captain. And two, you should always have a proper quarantine protocol. I thought the movie was great because it kind of falls into the line of horror. I give it 4 coffee cups. It was a very good, well-made movie. Ridley Scott gave us some answers, and now he left us with a lot more questions. Like, basically, at the end of this movie, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to make a spoiler review of this. That way, because I really want to talk more about it. I really want to, get it out of my system. So I'm going to do a spoiler review. So, for those of you who haven't seen it, see it this weekend. It's amazing. If you don't see it this weekend, see it this week, see it next week. Just get a chance to watch this. I think it's worth a watch in the theater, in the big screen. It was awesome to see it in the big screen. Definitely something I want to buy for Blu-ray to add to my collection. Definitely want to get the collectibles that are associated with it. We see the fate of everybody, basically. Even our actors, like Elizabeth Shaw and the android David, what their fate was. Those questions get answered, right? But in those questions that get answered, more questions are raised. Like, now what? Basically. Now what? How do we get from Alien Covenant now to Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien? It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting more connected. And we just gotta figure it out. Gotta figure it out. So I give it 4 coffee cups, and it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest of them all, you know, like the first 2 Alien films are still by far superior, but this one is definitely a good one, you know, definitely a good one, because, you know, with Ridley Scott, you really can't go wrong. He makes good movies. He just does. He can take anything and make it into magic. I just like to see things explained more. I'm gonna I'm gonna see this film again at some point and analyze it more, and kind of like weave it into my spoiler review. Kind of get a sense of, okay, what's really going on here. What are the motives of everybody on the ship? If I haven't mentioned it yet, real quick shout out to James Franco. He did play a role in the film. I'm not going to tell you to what extent. You see it for yourself. I don't think it's a mistake that James Franco and Danny McBride were casted into this film together. They're buddies. So, it's funny how that worked out. So, what did you think about it? Comment below. Tell me your thoughts on Alien Covenant. And I will see you on a later date for a spoiler talk. And I want to get some more exchanges with you about Alien Covenant.